Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Senor Nerd Podcast. I have here with me Raul, Ramo. How's it going, guys?
Yo, what's up?
Howdy.
So we're here to talk about Attack on Titan Season 4, Part 3, and holy fuck, guys, holy shit, man. I'm going to use every cuss word that I could have been saving up for the whole year in this episode, man, because holy fuck, I mean, I texted you guys, I pretty much shit my pants as I was watching this episode, but did any of you shit your pants, bro? Did you shit your pants? Tell me what you thought about the episode.
I ended up just doing other stuff in my pants, but that was an episode. That was the beginning of a season, or beginning of a third part of a final season.
Well, my pants are neither spoiled nor wet. But no, absolutely fucking wow, man. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome first episode.
So I know you guys, Ramon, first of all, you weren't even surprised that it came out today. I think you were thinking tomorrow, but I wanted to let you guys know that, to my surprise, and I just found this out today, like this is actually the only episode we're going to get for this part 3. After this episode that just aired today, the 1 hour long, we're not going to get another episode till like later on in October. So just letting you guys know right now. It really pissed me off, like finding that out, because I'm like, oh my God, like here I was expecting us to do like a weekly recap of like the new episodes, but I guess we missed that. So now this is like one of the final episodes that we'll get to talk about before the Attack on Titan actually wraps up like later on in the year. So sorry to be
That's why it was an hour.
That's why it was an hour.
Are you sure? I'm waiting for
and
the
it was chapter 1 and 2.
Carlos, just start smiling, Carlos. Just start smiling. Don't be an asshole. Just tell me.
No, I mean, for somebody that has, because I read the manga, so I can tell you exactly where they left it off. Because in the beginning, I did have doubt that they could wrap up the whole final chapters of the manga in these last few episodes. But now knowing where they left off, I'm like, yeah, they can totally do it. And I hate the fact that they decided not to do a movie, man, because you can totally tell that that's probably where they were trying to do, like, trying to do a 2-hour movie. Why that decision wasn't being done, I don't understand. Because the one thing that really pissed me off when I was watching this episode is like, I wanted to be in a movie theater full of people as I was feeling these emotions.
Oh my goodness, feelings. Yeah.
So I could, like, if I would have had you guys next to me, I would have been able to hold your hands and just being like, guys, like, please, like, just hold my hands tight as I'm going through this. Because that shit, and especially the beginning, was just so fucking hard. But yeah, if you guys want to talk about, what was happening through your head,
watching, you're 100% sure, verified,
100%, yes, 100%, yeah.
Heartbreak,
indeed.
I guess now that you say that, I guess that's exactly what it feels like, man. Like, oh my God, yes. Not only to mention like the level of graphics, I think to this point of just watching the whole series and getting to this point, like everything's so much better, like done. That I remember I was like watching it, and like you said, it's like it would have been amazing to be watching this like in IMAX, especially when you see the rumbling, you have the colossal titans like coming down, you have freaking the founder titan just kind of hovering over everything. It would have been nice with that extra rumble and that big old screens just like right in front of us, man. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's been a while for me. Well, I forgot for like some of the parts, and I forgot how like brutal like the show is, because like that's one of the things I love about the show is just like how it just kind of does everything, and it doesn't really like I guess censor some things that other animes or shows censor, and it shows like the full thing. And it was just, it got me again.
No, well, like, when me and Ramon did our Attack on Titan discussion, I kind of mentioned that, like, I feel like Eren just feels like he has to do this because he has the Attack Titan powers. So he's able to see, like, the future. He knows that this is going to happen. So, like, I feel sorry for Eren. But the thing is, I'm not going to be an Eren apologist because the shit he's doing, man, like, I cannot be on board with it. I understand the thinking of it. But I'm not going to sit here and defend what Eren's doing because it's truly fucking fucked up and evil. Especially, I think, at the beginning intro when you're seeing, like, him talking to that kid and, that kind of sells it to you.
Yeah.
Like, hey, even though he, like, saved their ass from, like, that one kid getting beat up, it's like, it's still, he knew he was going to be responsible for killing that specific kid. And it was just like, oh my God, like this is a fucking asshole. Like Eren, like you are a dick and I fucking hate you, but I also feel bad for you because it's like this was put on you and it's like you feel like you're destined to do this. And again, guys, I wish we would have gotten like the full wrapped up to the story because then I could have talked a little bit more about why I felt he had those motivations. But at least that was my take in the beginning of the season or the episode.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, it was great start. I mean, the first scene, I know it's foreshadowing, which is freaking cold, and I don't want to spoil it for anybody or Raul because he doesn't know either. But like that very first scene, I think to me was like one of those weird moments where like, yo, man, this is where it's all gonna end. And then right away, it does cut to the scene of like Eren kind of walking and just, basically walking, thinking in the future and saying how basically he's already done it. He already knows what's going to happen. And yes, like you said, that cold scene with those kids. And, again, he's like, well, who am I to judge of these guys like trying to like beat you up and possibly kill you? I'm going to kill you. Like that was so freaking like ruthless, right? Because like obviously he still has the power to like at that moment make something change in front of him, and he still decided that at the end of the day, like this human nature doesn't matter. Like I'm still gonna try to do the rumbling and just kill everybody. And yeah, like I think it sets us back into the mindset of like the last part of this season and just seeing him finally kind of say, this is what I'm doing, I'm resolved to do it. And obviously by the end of this episode, you kind of find out more of people's like, that's their mentality is like, well, he wants us to kill him, basically. So it's good to give him that bad part of him like right away in the beginning, because you remember like, oh yeah, he is really fucked up at this moment. Like I forgot, he's kind of a big fucking dick. So whatever else comes later, he deserves it for sure.
Yeah, and then I loved that beginning thing because it did a few things. Like one, I loved kind of how it shows him experiencing different periods of time kind of at the same time, because he skips around in time and he's like remembering like different points are kind of happening together, because like now with that power he kind of just like jumps around within time, and he can kind of like influence like any part at once, and then he remembers the future and stuff like that. So I love that part because it kind of reminded me of Arrival a little bit. But like I love that whole concept. And then the other thing that I liked about the beginning is that like it kind of brought me back to a little bit to the old Eren that felt everything, and then it reminded me like, oh yeah, he's not just like a dick still. Like he still cares. Like he's still doing it for his own reasons. Like, yes, it might be fucked up that what he's doing, but he's doing it because of everything that he went through. And he doesn't want to go through it, but he feels that he has to go through it to kind of protect the island and everybody that he knew, which is why he's also giving them the freedom that you kind of see later on in the episode.
No, you're 100% right, and I never thought about it, but he is similar to Dr. Manhattan, where he's able to like live all times at the, so it's like he was almost looking at himself as a child and accidentally giving his child the memories of the future, hence the reason why he was crying underneath the tree. So that's kind of like, that's very emotional, man. I really like that role.
Yeah, and then it goes from you remembering that obviously he's still human or alien, and then also he's becoming an asshole, but then at the same time you go straight to the like destruction and like the bloodshed. And I think that was like obviously the first part that like it kind of really broke it even more into reality. Like if you by this point you didn't remember how fucked up he was getting mentally, because again he's doing it for his reasons, but it's still pretty fucked up, then you see it all of a sudden. And I think that was also really crazy to see, because then like you said, Raul, like Attack on Titan does not hold back. Like, people were getting smushed, people were getting like crushed, all kinds of craziness. And it just to know that the size comparison of like the little human to a colossal titan, like that's even more painful.
So all of a sudden we hear the rumbling happen. Like, where do we go to survive this thing? Because I was thinking like, obviously like they're walking, they're not hitting every little like piece in the ground, but obviously you see all the destruction. You see the fact that I think they're releasing hot steam. So even if you manage to like miss a giant step, the heat itself is going to kill you. But I mean, I have to assume there's people going into caves or some kind of situation to like save themselves. I do feel like the show's kind of making it seem like nobody's surviving this thing, but I mean, there has to be survivors. Nobody can be killed 100%.
Yeah. Well, there's two things, and before I address that too, the other thing that it kind of giving me vibes of is kind of Ender's Game. I don't know if you guys ever like watched that
Yeah.
or read it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
How in there, like a big part of Endor or whatever his name is that like he doesn't just like beat the opposition. He beats them so bad that they don't want to retaliate, and that's kind of what I feel like Eren's trying to do. But to address your thing, um, in I forget what part of the episode it was, but in one part when they're talking about the like the plans for the rumbling, they also mentioned that they were gonna like go do all these things, and then at one point that they were gonna wait for like the united coalition to go against them. So like they're expecting survivors, and they're expecting them to kind of retaliate at some point, and then they were already planning for something like that, because it's even though it's like hundreds or thousands, I don't even know, of colossal titans, like walking, pretty much destroying the full landscape. And then when they're on the boat too, I think Annie and I forgot who she was talking to. They were talking that I guess all they're going to be eating is fish.
Fish, yeah,
Yeah, because pretty much all the land animals are going to be killed by the Titans too, because it's not just the people.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but have they ever explained how the giant titans were even created? Like, I have no idea how they came to be. No, that's something that you guys are not aware of either.
Not a detail like that. I mean, just other than like the whole obviously Emirs and Titans, but like in general, like how those colossal Titans, no.
Okay.
No, yeah, because from what I remember, they just built the walls around those Titans. Yeah. I don't know how they got the Titans. I don't know how they got them.
They came to be,
yeah. And then the founding Titan ended up kind of like erasing everybody's memory.
True,
about all that, except for like very few people that kind of just carry the information around.
No, that's just something that I was wondering, because it's just like, man, though, this is like, they seem unkillable. Because even I was kind of happy to see some of them like kind of like tumbling down the mountain, and some of them actually being a little bit kind of like goofy and falling down. Because I was thinking like, there's no way that these guys can just walk in a straight line and not have these sort of accidents. But it just kind of shows you like when you do have giants walking among the planet, like things like that are going to happen. But even if somebody like another giant steps on it, or they're being like cut down or exploded, I do feel like they have that regenerate, like the ability to regenerate. So no matter what, I feel like you're not killing any of them. Like no matter what, they're always going to get up and continue to move forward.
Unless you cut off the thing in the back of the neck.
Can you though? I mean, I feel like it's so thick that I don't even know if they're, I mean, at least not with the swords they're using. Maybe like a thicker or bigger blade, I could believe it, or maybe even with the rockets, but I just don't feel like I saw that, or I haven't seen one in the show be like, you know, at this point, like being completely like, and because, you know, they dissolve once they're killed, like they dissolve into like air, right?
Yeah. Well, they made it seem like Hanji did get one of them in the nape, because they showed the scene where she cuts out like a triangle part out of the back of the neck. And so that's what I assumed, is that she was successful. But again, they didn't show it. We never seen a colossal titan go down that way. So it's like, yep.
Dude, I gotta ask, when you saw her being like, all right, guys, like, I'm gonna do something.
That already?
Well, I mean, you mentioned it, but like, were you actually thinking like she was actually gonna like do anything? I was thinking like, it kind of reminded me a little bit of our Quantumania review, where it was like the Wasp saying like, don't worry, I'll help you out. And I kind of mentioned like I couldn't believe the Wasp could even do anything. But like similar here, when she said like, hey, I'll slow them down and I'll buy you guys some time, I was like, oh my God, please don't make it seem embarrassable, where it's like, I'm not going to believe what's happening. Yeah. But the joke's on me, though, because holy fucking shit, that shit was fucking amazing and beautiful. Dude, all the fucking applause as I was watching that.
Yeah.
Well, that kind of reminds me, because like a big difference that you see like in Attack on Titan is like all the like Eldians or whatever, like on the island. Like they're all like deal with this, and especially like the scout troop, or whatever they're called, the scouts. Like this is what they do. This is what they train. Like they have like a ton of experience, like going against Titans. And then that was the difference between the people on the continent, the Myrtle or whatever they're called, or Meldians or whatever. Yeah. Is that like they have no experience with Titans, and you kind of saw like in the other episode when they like went down to to actually attack the actual continent, because like whenever the Warhammer Titan or whatever it's called, like when that appeared and some of the other Titans that they had under control, like you saw Levi and all these other like people actually like know what to do against them because they had like a ton of experience fighting them. So it was pretty cool to see.
No, yeah, I mentioned to Ramon that was like one of my favorite things in the last season. But you know, I don't mean to like move the story already with Hanji.
Well, let me answer because I think
Wait, sorry, because I was gonna say like, you know, I have this thing that I keep pushing Armin a little bit like forward, like I keep saying like, oh, we'll talk about Armin, but we never do. So I don't want to like, you know, because I think after the, you know, we get past the rumbling, we do kind of meet up a little bit with Armin talking to Annie. But no, what were you gonna say, Ramon?
Oh no, I'm saying I think the point you were trying to make is that so far they never done Hanji like that at all. Like
that's true too.
And anything like that, whenever scenes that she's fought in the past, they never been in like there never been a Levi fight scene, right? They never been like an Eren fight scene. There never been any kind of like crazy fight scenes with Hanji. Like all you know her is for being resourceful, for doing her like experiment or like trying to figure out more about the Titans.
Being a nerd.
And obviously she became commander.
I think you called that being horny for Titans.
Being horny for Titans. Well, as you know, at the end, when she's even telling the cart Titan that she wants to ride her, she's
like, this got weird.
but yeah. So it's like, I think to your point, till this point, they never made Hanji seem so crazy awesome. Even though they gave her the title of commander after Erwin passed away, but I mean, maybe that's why they gave her title of commander is because they knew that she had that potential. I didn't know she could fight like that. I didn't know she had that in her. My favorite scene in that part was when she busted in fire. Like, you know, she was going so hot and the Titans were so hot. Like her ODM gear was so hot. Like that was cool. Yeah.
Dude, I got fooled, man. I'm gonna be the one that just keeps constantly getting fooled throughout this whole like episode, even though I read the manga and I clearly watched what was going on screen. But dude, I thought she did survive because, you know, they kind of fooled us and dude, holy fuck, dude. If I ever die or if I ever, you know, once I do go to heaven, dude, if I could just get up and be greeted by all my past family members, friends, like anybody that has met something in my life, that's the way to go, man. Dude, that was so like, first of all, I thought like, I'm like, wait, what's happened? Did she really survive that? And then clearly when she got up and then everybody around her, it's there. It says like, man, what an like bastards. You guys are fucking doing everything you can to get me to cry.
I was wondering that too, because she like freaking roasted up like a marshmallow, man. Like she was completely engulfed in flames. And then that final scene when you see her dropping from the sky and like Armin turns back and like he sees her and he just like cries and like it had me going because I'm like, she's done. Like she doesn't have powers. She's just human. Like there's nothing to her that's gonna make her survive. And then you're right. Fooled us because like that next scene she's like up regularly and you're just like, that's it. And then you see Erwin and you're like, never mind, dead.
And I'm gonna use another one of my cuss words, but man, fuck you, Flock. Like, fuck you. I fucking hate you, you piece of shit. You fucking rot in hell. I fucking hate you, Flock.
It is his fault. It is his fault that Hanji's dead.
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, so remind me, who is he?
He was the one next to Eren, the one where the Jaeger is. He was like the second in command. That's who Flock was.
I thought the blonde guy was the second in command.
That was a girl, but he's talking about the blonde girl. I forget her name.
The one they were talking to in the boat. No, it's She was in Zeke's group, but in Eren's group, Flock was the one that was kind of behind the whole like, oh, Eren told me the whole plan, and I'm Eren's best friend, and you know I'll do anything for Eren, and Eren's my guy, and that's
you're speaking in Eren's like behalf like half the time, in the last ones. Yeah, but I mean, if it wasn't for him,
because like in the last season, I think like he got put in the water, and then I guess he's just been holding on the whole time, and then he came in to like freaking make holes on the plane. But I hate that guy. I know a lot of people probably feel the same way I do.
Well, especially now that Hanji's dead. Jesus.
Yeah. All right. So does anybody want to give any love to Armin and Annie's scene? Anybody that can describe it in a good way? What was happening?
So I'll say this. Like with Armin, like I feel for Armin because like for forever he was kind of the like he was Eren's like best friend, and he always had like a huge moral compass. He was always kind of like the crybaby too, and he was the one that always needed the defending from Mikasa and Eren. kind of mostly Mikasa. But like he was always smart and all that stuff. But like now, like more than anyone, I feel that like he's the one that you feel, or at least for me, like I feel the worst about, in the sense of like I feel that he feels the worst about what he's done, because like he's in a way he's kind of cursed with the colossal titan, because like besides the fact that it's a giant titan,
Well, it saved
like
his life too. Keep in mind, it saved his life. Like
yeah,
he was
yeah,
gonna die if it wasn't for the fact that they gave him the
yeah, because it was either going to be him or Irwin,
yeah.
and then they ended up choosing him. But like I know that he feels like horrible about it, and like more than anyone, like I feel kind of his anguish and his like dread of like what he's done. Or him and Raynar are like the two that I feel the worst about, like with kind of what they've done. But like it was nice to see kind of how he was with Annie, because yeah, like the whole time that Annie was in the crystal thing, like she was kind of avoiding everything, and then like he, like you just get a sense that he, out of everyone, he had like the most empathy, and I relate to that because I tend to be a pretty empathetic guy, but like I don't know, I kind of get the sense that like he, besides him trying to be there for Annie, like he was more doing it for himself, because he probably used it as a like way to like kind of confession and kind of like get stuff off his chest, because he probably thought that there was like no way that she was gonna like return or anything like that.
Well, they've said it in the past that he doesn't know if the reason why he's so attracted to Annie is the fact that he's also holding Bertholt's memories, and he had love towards her, so he's kind of confused as to like, do I love her because they're my true feelings, or is this something that's just a memory from somebody else, and I'm reflecting somebody else's feelings? But I mean, I like Annie a lot. I never really knew what was going to happen with her once she came out of the crystallized thing that she was part of. So I do like her as a character, and it kind of sucks that right now we're led to believe that she's not going to be part of the fight, because, hopefully she does come back in the second final part of the season. But I did like that relationship. Like, I do like the idea of them two, like, chipping them. Like, I'm not here to be, like, chipping people, but, like, them together, like, they seem like they could make it work.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question. So, on the ship, Gabby and the other kid, they're mentioning something about her and the female Titan that she can, like.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was something that really caught me by surprise, and up to the point of like me actually looking it up, it fucking makes perfect fucking sense. But I did not know that the female Titan had this ability. But if you feed it. So if you feed her parts from other Titans, like other the 9 Titans, she's able to sort of get some of their abilities. So the female Titan has always had the ability where she can scream and other Titans will be attracted to her. And the reason why she's able to do that is because technically she's stealing that from the founding Titan. That's actually like Zeke's ability. So because she was experimented on and they gave her parts of Zeke's body, she's able to do that. The only difference is that when the Titans do get to her, instead of like protecting her or doing anything that she says, they will try to eat her. But the female Titan has always, I guess, had that ability where if she eats a part of another Titan, she will get some of the power. So I thought that was actually like, holy shit, like, how did I miss that? I thought that was really cool about the female Titan.
Yeah. Like what you guys kind of alluding to is just the fact that right now, we are seeing her kind of go away from the fight. And then that conversation between them does make me think that she's somehow going to come back and like do something like pivotal that's really going to help the battle. But no, I mean, I think I'm definitely with Raul on the whole idea of like the whole Armin or just kind of him having that conversation with Annie. I think a lot of it is just also setting up for the fact that his whole mission in this battle, more so than fighting, is to try to convince Eren to stop any other way before they have to kill him. And, I think that's kind of just building to more of that. Like you said, he's very empathetic. I think this is really building his character even more so that we remember that if anyone's going to be good at talking to someone and trying to like relate to them and be patient and be there even while they're crystallized, it's going to be Armin. So Armin's going to be the person, like the right person to talk to Eren, or at least try to. So.
But
Yeah,
I mean, because I mean, they've already had the conversation. Like their whole plan was like,
yeah.
hey, let's get to Eren and let's have this conversation and try to like have him to like stop his plan. But they had that conversation. We saw it happen. We saw Eren saying like, no matter what, like I'm giving you free will, but this is going to happen. And if you want to stop me, you're gonna have to kill me. So I mean, like I feel like now, at least where the next season's gonna pick up, it's like they're going full attack mode, and that's
Yeah.
yeah. Go ahead.
But you know
Yeah,
he's still gonna try though, or try something.
No, yeah, and I think what they're trying to do, and this is a little bit like more meta and kind of like bigger overhead view, is I think that they're trying to like build up how hard it's going to be for Armin to deal with Eren, because they're probably going to have something, because at some point it's either going to have to be Mikasa or Armin. They're going to have to kill Eren. That's what I'm thinking. So they're kind of building it up and kind of like more to make it seem like how much harder it's going to be for them to kill him, because ultimately I think they're going to have to kill him in order to stop the rumbling. So like this show, I see it going one of those ways. Like I haven't read any manga or anything, so I don't know what's going to happen. But like just in case I happen to guess correctly, it just seems that it's going to end up either Mikasa or Armin killing Eren, or they're going to fail at killing him, and Eren's going to like complete the rumbling and going to kill everyone, including either Armin and Mikasa or both.
No, and like, dude, again, somebody that has read the manga, like, I know what's gonna happen, but it's just like I try to think about it. Like, can they really make all that happen in an hour? In the next, let's say, the next season is gonna be also an hour.
Yeah.
Like, to me, it just seems so impossible, just from everything they still gotta like, do before they finally wrap up the show. So that's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. But no, dude, I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, like I feel like Armin and Eren definitely have to have one more conversation before the show's over.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I at least they're gonna have a moment of some kind, whether it's conversation or just like or like a last minute plea to like, don't make me kill you kind of thing, because like, I don't want to kill you.
Because right now, from what I can tell, the plan is to like take Armin and put him as close as they can to Eren's neck, and then Armin's gonna like self-destruct,
like explode, yeah,
and then hopefully that's gonna take out Eren. But we'll see how that plays out, man. I mean, Eren kind of showed some abilities that surprised me. Like when you saw lightning come from his back as they were doing the blimp attack, I was a little confused as to like what he was going to do. I'm like, is he all of a sudden going to like shoot lightning? I mean, we saw what ended up happening, but I thought that was like another cool ass scene of the whole episode.
Tail beast bomb.
Yeah. It kind of seems like all they're doing with that part is kind of like improving on the animation. Because like when the Raynar was turning into the Armor Titan, it kind of had the same effect. So I think that they're just kind of like upping the level of animation, which I think is badass.
Or because you just made me think of this, you said when freaking Raynar transformed into the to the Armor Titan, that it had the same animation. Then maybe that was Zeke turning into the Beast Titan.
That's what it was. That's what I think. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah,
that's cool because that makes more sense. I thought it was supposed to be some defensive like laser. Yeah, thing, it wasn't. Yeah.
That's what I thought so too, dude. This show fucking talk about giving me like blue balls, man. Just the way they left it, man. The way they fucking left it. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I fucking hate them, man.
I will say I was in no way was I expecting this type of episode. I was expecting kind of just like a generic. Like I don't know why I should expect more at this point, but like this was like a completely epic episode, like epic, like this could have been a fucking movie, but like I was just expecting like a lot more like
conversations,
the inner monologues and kind of what you get from like a lot of animes. But then, like, I forget that Attack on Titan is different in so many ways. And then you get the brutality, you get the emotions, you get the action, you get you get everything in this anime.
Dude, I'm surprised Levi jumped out of that plane, man, because I honestly didn't
He's so
think he
beat
could
up.
even like.
Dude.
Yeah, I don't think he could even move, and just the fact that he's
He had
still
like
this
2
part of-
fingers.
He had 2 fingers to
Like,
navigate.
that's all I
Well,
need. That's all I need. Yeah. No, but I mean that's
but the
resolve,
scratch, but the scratch.
right?
That's
But that's
kind of reminds me. I'm sure that's what Raul tells the girls. Like, I just need 2 fingers.
You're definitely gonna need a disclaimer in this episode.
yeah.
All of our episodes are explicit, baby. All of them.
It's a whole new meaning to Attack on Titan. No, but no, yeah.
Colossal Titans.
Oh man, no. I mean, we're going that route when you were talking about the freaking female Titan. Just gotta consume to get the powers. It's very typical. It's just nature, man. But no, yeah. I mean, like, I guess it's. I guess it's like with that, Levi's resolve, man. He really wants to freaking get Zeke, and I love that, Carlos, because we're talking about that on the last, like when we did the.
He won't let himself die.
He just will not let himself die, and it's just like, I mean, I feel like at this point, like, yes, like, what is he gonna do? But like, you already saw that first scene, like obviously with Beast Titan. Like, that scene on top of, like, freaking Eren was pretty cool, like, him, like, just defending all that. But, yeah, the second that they disconnected him from Eren, I'm like, oh, shit's about to go down, and I'm just really excited again. Sucks that we gotta wait, but...
Like, I also wonder, though, like, I wonder if Zeke's actually there, though. Or like, in the Colossal Titan, because with the Warhammer Titan, I think, they can move around where the nape is or where whatever the like where the actual
you're
person
right.
is.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's kind of just like a puppet or like a Beast Titan, like a drone Beast Titan.
What would you call that world that they go to where like Eren's at? What would you say, like the celestial plane, or like what would be a good word to call it?
I mean, I guess
I'm only saying that because
the Great Beyond.
The Great Beyond, I like that. Just because when they're there, dude, everything looks so gorgeous. Like, you have a sky full of stars, beautiful sand. It seems like whoever has control of that can make anything
Ancestral
happen.
plane.
The Ancestral plane, like Black Panther Ancestral plane. But dude, I don't know. Like, the idea of like living there forever, like, doesn't seem so bad. I'm sure it would get boring, especially if you're there by yourself. But it's just, I always do appreciate when they take the time to animate the world to make it look so beautiful and astonishing.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the, like, in Marvel, like in the MCU, like the Soul Stone, like whenever they got it, like when Thanos went in there with the baby Gamora, or like with the kid Gamora, and then like in the cutscene when Iron Man went in there, and then you had like the adult, his daughter as like a teenager. Yeah. Like I forgot what that's called, but it kind of gave me that type of vibes.
Yeah, because I feel like Zeke has to be somewhere in there. Like, that's what you were saying.
Like trapped.
Like Zeke's probably trapped in there, and then like you were saying, he has to attack the hammer power, so you could probably just bring his body up, out of anywhere. So that's the nice call, bro. I do like that.
It was kind of cool, though, to see Eren and Ymir together, like, hanging out, because remember, she was enslaved there for the longest, too, and then, like, that first time we met her in that form, she just had, like, a broom, and she was, and so it was, like, very, like, oh, man, you have this kid locked up in this, like, weird plane. And
this is going to go a little bit out of, the movie, but we didn't even really talk about her and, like, how this whole Titans thing started, but... Did you guys feel like we're going to get some resolution to that? Like, we'll finally be able to kind of see a phase to whatever's causing this? Okay, just kind of getting your thoughts on it.
I don't think so, because I think this story more is revolved around how it started, the creation of that, and then how we took advantage of it, or how we, like, twisted it, and how we, like, like everything else. Like, we have, like, the gift of, like, life and evolution, and we're, like, who we are now, but instead we're, like, fighting wars and, like, hate crime and shit like that. It's that same story we were talking about last time. It's like, I don't think there's going to be like a resolution to that story. Like, no one's going to say like, oh, this is what we're truly supposed to be here for. I think it's just showing the nature of how destructive we can be. Though, I mean, Eldians and Marlians, not us.
It's totally not a commentary on society.
Nope, not at all.
No, but like, I honestly, like, I love that about the show. Like, in the sense that like it's, because it definitely shows, like, probably, like, one of the biggest faults of society is the fact that we cannot accept, like, each other's differences. And then also the fact that, like, we have all this, like, generational issues because of like things that like for example, like if I hated Carlos for something that his like great grandparents did, like it wasn't Carlos that did it, but like I still hate him because his
Yeah.
great grandparents did it or whatever, and like that's societal, like whether it's religion, whether it's like race, whether it's whatever, like we've always done that and we still continue to do that here. So like I love how it kind of like addresses that in some ways, and then like it tries to resolve it, but it at the same time like was showing the like the worst case scenario, like this is what all those issues led to, like the audience being horrible to everyone else led to them being exiled to this island, and
Yep.
and then it led to them being kind of like pretty much segregated from everybody else in the like general society
Yeah.
for whoever was left over. And then like what all that kind of ended up resulting is like building up all this hate and the resentment, and then like this sense of self preservation from Eren and everyone in the island, which is why he now retaliates and he's trying to kill off everybody to protect like himself and everybody that like he knew and loved. So it's kind of the worst case scenario where everyone hates each other for like reasons that like they really they shouldn't, because they're like they shouldn't matter, but they do because society claims that they should.
Yeah.
Did they show Historia in this episode at all? Was Historia
No.
part of it? No, from Big. No, okay.
Dude,
I
what happened to her?
Well, she's right now.
I feel like I missed it.
She's pregnant on a farm somewhere, ready to have somebody's kid. But I guess I've been wondering about this, and maybe this is like the hardest thing that I have believing in the whole show, because Zeke's story or Zeke's plan was to get together with Eren, touch each other, and then he was going to euthanize all the descendants of Ymir Stapero. So they had a lot of opportunities to touch each other, and like why didn't they touch each other a lot sooner? Why didn't Eren touch Historia? Why couldn't they like Eren do his plan with Historia? Like, to me, that's like the one time, like the one thing when I think about the show that like to me doesn't make any sense. Like they had that moment where Eren and Zeke were throwing the baseball, and they could have initiated their plan at that moment, but they decided not to. And again, I understand Eren sees the future and it has to happen a certain way. But come on, guys, you guys are right there. Touch each other. Do it.
Yeah,
Do it.
I mean, as tempting as it is. No, I mean, I definitely think that it was more about timing, like you said, because there's no other way, right? Obviously, unless we're going
This is the
meta,
way.
unless we're going meta, and we're saying that the show's creators and producers and all this stuff are the ones that are saying, hey, we gotta elongate this show and we gotta keep it going. Other than that, like the only practical reason would be that, like, Eren felt maybe there was something to waiting. Maybe he was trying to see what Zeke's true plan was, because he knew Zeke was going to betray him the whole time anyways, or at least that their ideals were overall like different. So I don't know, like, but I definitely, like, yeah, not seeing Historia in there and kind of making me still think what the future is going to be, because I already have a good idea of, not just because of spoilers, but a good idea of how this fight would go, right? Like, boom, 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 lots of destruction, killing, whatever. Whoever's dead is going to die. But then we're left with this whole other thing going on that we still, like Raul said, is like, he didn't even know what happened to her. And I think the show made you forget about her briefly, but I don't know if that has a purpose in it or anything like that.
Dude, how? No, go ahead, Ron.
No, yeah, because like honestly, like for some reason I thought that she like died, but like I forgot how or why she died.
No.
Like, what happened? So what did? So like now that you said that she was pregnant somewhere, like it kind of reminds me of something, but I don't remember still.
Historia became sort of the queen or the ruler, and the plan of the higher ups were to pretty much have her continue to have babies so they could have the founder's power. So that was like her plan, and that's why she kind of got put on the side. But
whose babies?
Like just anybody's babies, because again, she has to have babies in order to keep passing the power of the founder. So that's the whole reason why they kind of kept her. But I like his story. I wish I could have seen her, and I wish we could have seen Zeke in this episode. Just a little bit of Zeke would have gotten a long way. So it sucks we didn't get that.
Yeah. Just because we were talking about this somewhere earlier when Raul was going all like humanitarian, or him world topic. No. Because we started it, right? Because I was saying that I don't think there is going to be like any weird sort of going back to what happened, because in often cases, the reasons that we fight now, who cares what our ancestors were doing? We just know they started it, right? Basically. But anyways, I was seeing like what I was thinking is when I was watching it, one of the kind of guess if we're talking about like human nature, one of the best parts of the show was when you had those Eldians up on the mountain already, like, and they're thinking they're gonna survive, and then even the general or the commander, whoever's like in charge of it, they're all saying it's like, let this be a lesson that no matter what the outcome of this is, once we're out, we will treat everyone as equals. And I was like, dude, really? Like, that's exactly what the show is all about. And it sucks they're probably gonna die. Like, we don't know. But the one group of people that get it right now, or not the one, but one of the groups of people that are finally learning the lesson of what the problem is with hating people for no reason ultimately causes. So that was cool.
Did I clap their ability to like grab blimps and go out and try to take Eren down? But honestly, guys, if you have limited blimps, save as many people as you can and like go up high. Just like, you did not need to like fight Eren at all. Like, again, I applaud them for being brave, but totally like fucked up, and that plan blew up in their faces.
I mean, you got a point though. It's not like we were talking about like the Colossals doing the rumbling and walking. It's not like they're doing a whole wall across the world. No. It's just like a wall, like a freaking stampede or walking stampede of colossal titans. But they're like still in a large section. Same thing for all these people. Like, you're right. Like, they're taking the blimp, gone to another country, taken refuge, and then maybe come back and rebuild, because it's not like the rumbling was going to go on forever and ever.
No, yeah, but like the other thing that you got to keep in mind is like, these people are not used to fighting titans, so they don't necessarily know that this is not going to work. They think they probably.
Oh, that's true.
They probably are aware of the fact that like this might not work, but like we got to try something. We got to save these people. We got to save the world, pretty much. So like. And it's the military, so like their like first mentality is always going to be like, all right, we got to fight to try to protect everybody.
Yeah.
So their first thought should be probably like, let's try to stop this, instead of like, hey, let's try to save people. It's going to be like, let's fight type of thing. Yeah. So that's why, in my opinion, that's why they tried it.
Yeah, and I mean, and they knew about the rumbling, so I want to believe that they had a rumbling plan to like build. Yeah, going back to like building caves, and like maybe they were in bunkers or caves somewhere. At least the rich and wealthy and the powerful. But I'm like, they knew about it. So I'm like, to be this idiots about like knowing this could possibly happen and it's happening, and like you didn't plan for it. I'm like, that's totally on them, man. Honestly, if they didn't save themselves, then I have no pity for those people.
Yeah, I also wonder like how realistic they thought that it would be, though, because like they kind of knew that the island existed or whatever, and then like it wasn't really until they attacked the mainland.
Yeah,
that happened. But then
start building that bunker as soon as you send people to poke the bear.
Yeah, that when freaking Eren did the whole surprise attack on them, that should have been the first time to get the frick out of there. It's true. It's all true. Like, get out of here. But I don't know. Do you guys think we're gonna see Falco flying in the air?
I mean, he keeps dreaming about it,
right? Falco, the kid who takes the Jaw Titan, right?
Falco, the kid that turns into a falcon-looking Titan.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember that one.
But you do remember the conversation, because you referenced it earlier, when he also mentions that he has the dream of him flying and he was free. And I'm just like, keep thinking about it. I'm like, man, they already made him into the bird jaw titan. I'm like, he's gonna fly.
Cause I mean, they've been hinting at that, because he keeps having these dreams. And I didn't understand why he cast those dreams, but he keeps dreaming about like seeing himself up in the sky. So I'm interested to see how that's gonna play out.
Absolutely.
Because he had some of the spinal fluid of the founding titan.
But he's not like the female Titan, because I looked it up and like
I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I just know that he mentioned it, which kind of confused me a little bit.
If anybody has the answer for this, please feel free to send it to me at our Twitter account. That's Senor Nerd Podcast.
Educate us.
Tweet us, please. Tell us why.
Yeah, and then you retweet it so that I can see it.
And then you guys text me and tell me about it, because I don't have Twitter.
Okay.
Right?
Nope. We're totally going to keep it from you, Ramon.
No, but
oh, man.
I mean, if you guys have any like last thoughts, anything you guys want to wrap up, any like questions that you guys have been wondering about, I mean, this is the time to speak up because we're not gonna get another one of these episodes for like 5 months. You know?
Oh my god, it's gonna kill me.
So mentally, so I could mentally prepare myself. To the best of your knowledge, you said this is it, and then like a few months later,
In
we get the
October,
last
dude.
part?
So in October, they're thinking that's when the final part's gonna drop. But I'm telling you, man, even me knowing what's gonna happen, like, can they really freaking do it in an hour? Like, how pissed would you be if like they do it again, like 1 hour, and then they're like movie coming up to like wrap it all up? Like, wouldn't that piss you the fuck off? Just because like how terrible the decision has been like done for like calling this like the final season. Like this could have been season 6. Like call it season 6 and be done with it. Like why do you guys keep saying like final part 1, final part 2, final part 3, final part 4? Like it's fucking ridiculous.
This episode was 1 hour, right? I said you could add that next part to be like 2 hours. Put it in an IMAX movie together for 3 hours. I'll pay for all your tickets if that happens. I would love to see that. Like, I would love to see that, even if it's a 3-hour long fucking Attack on Titan.
You heard it. All 6 of our followers will get tickets paid by Ramon.
No, but for real, like that would be like ideal. Like that would be cool, right? Like if they added this and then to the end of the second part, but then they released it together like at movies, like that. I don't care how long that is. I would check that out. Like 100%.
No. Dude, and then part of me is like thinking about the timing they released this episode. Was this like a big FU to Demon Slayer? Because they released this as the Demon Slayer is currently in the movie theaters, movie. It's like, was this a way of like, because then they also released it like at 6 p.m. Was this a way of like keeping people from seeing that movie? Like, that's just like my conspiracy theories, like being like, is this a way to like shots fire at Demon Slayer? I don't know.
I don't know. I think there's enough time to go see both in one night, but you know, no, that's great. It's crazy. I don't know. Yeah.
No, yeah, but like, honestly, like if the whatever happens in October or whenever it comes out, like if it's good, I'm gonna forget about the fact that like. I was so annoyed about the fact that I have to wait so long to see like another like hour worth of Attack on Titan, even if there's another part after it. Like if it's good, honestly, for me, it's gonna be worth it. But I want to see more Attack on Titan because it's so fucking good.
Yeah,
but,
no,
I'll deal with. I have to deal with like watching weekly, like because right now I gotta deal with. My Hero, which is really good right now too.
Really good, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good, but I have to wait a whole week to watch the next episode, and that's what I get for getting into binging.
Dude, and like I love Attack on Titan because not only do I love everything about it, but like it wraps up the story in a really, at least for me, it felt like it wraps it up really well. And Demon Slayer also wraps that story really well. So like these are 2 shows that, you know, we're all 3 of us watching, and I can't wait for like the ending to happen. But to your point, Ro, like as much as I want the ending to be here, like dude, let's just keep pushing it because I would love to just continue talking about the Attack on Titan. It needs to become more of a bigger thing for everybody.
No, and you know what though, like too that I kind of like. So you have 2 different things with animes that I'm kind of experiencing right now because I'm watching One Piece. So like in One Piece, they don't really have like these seasons. They just kind of continuously always on kind of thing. But like One Piece, it's a good anime, but it has pacing issues. So like sometimes or kind of like with like Dragon Ball, they had the same thing that like you have these like super long like 6 episodes that encompass like 1 minute worth of like actual like anime time. Whereas like these other like animes now they kind of get it, and instead of like packing like an episode of like or like 10 seconds of actual time into like a full 26-minute episode, like they're splitting it up, and you have to wait to see the next part. But the whole episode is good. Like that's what's happening with Demon Slayer. That's what's happening with Attack on Titan. That's what's happening with My Hero. That's what's happening with Jujutsu Kaisen. So I'd rather have to wait, even though it like I hate it and I dread it and it's killing me. But I'd rather wait and have amazing episodes than to watch like 2 minutes worth of time pass by in 26 minutes.
No, I agree with everything you said 100% because I think One Piece is still following the formula that Naruto and Bleach created, like the whole week by week,
And Dragon
and
Ball.
you kind of see that with Bleach and even Naruto. Even though Naruto, I think, did it the best as far as like anime quality.
Yeah.
But the good thing about Bleach is that it came back, and now it's following that
Oh
formula.
yeah, good. Yeah.
Like instead of week by week, let's focus on making these episodes like really good animated, really good action. See, let's tell the story that we want to tell. So I like that Bleach is actually taking its time. But yeah, no, I agree with you, bro. Even though it freaking sucks. That's why you got to start reading the manga, man, and then you know the story. And
I can't. I'd rather die waiting to see the next episode than to like watch the manga.
Then don't ever pick up a book, bro. Go burn them all the books.
Yeah, I'm gonna go burn all the books of all the books of all kinds.
So, what did you guys prefer to see it the way we did, like the whole hour-long episode, and we're not going to get anything for the next few months? Or would you prefer to divide it into maybe like 6 episodes and then have shorter time in between the 2 seasons?
I would have like
2 parts.
6. Yeah, I would have have like 4 episodes. I don't know. It's just the fact that it's like it's here, it's gone.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Sure, sure, they got like probably big ratings and like people are talking about it right now. But like now, after like I bet you after Monday, like people are just gonna again. Okay, well now we gotta wait because it kind of sucks, man. Because you want that staying power, which the show definitely has it. But I guess we'll just have to.
But
well, all right, guys. I mean, let's not beat a dead horse. I mean, this was a great episode. I can't wait for it to be back. If you guys have any like last statements you want to say on it, I'll just say I cannot wait for you guys to finally see the next conclusion. And honestly, I'm glad they left it where they did because they could have left you guys with some incredible shots. And I kind of happy that they held back and they didn't show you what you guys like. I'm telling you, it's gonna like freaking like blow your minds. But to the next time, guys. Ramon, anything to say?
No, man, that was a great episode. I'm gonna keep telling people to watch it. So,
bro,
yeah, it's amazing. It's honestly it's probably one of the best animes currently on. And there's I'll probably say it's one of the top 3 animes currently on. Including I'll let you guys decide who the other 2 are.
Well, thank you for anybody that's still listening up to this point. If you like us, follow us, tweet at us. If you tweet at us, I'm still waiting for somebody to like say something great about the show, and I'll make sure to give you a special prize. But this has been Ramon, Raul, and Carlos saying goodbye and good night for right now.